right, friends, if I may have your attention for another astounding quadratics lesson. Quadratics. Quadratic model using vertex form. I must tell you, most of today is just a couple of new words describing the things that we're doing. Really nice. Investigate optimal values of parabolas in the form y equals ax minus h squared plus k. We'll now have a fancy word for this. This is called vertex form. And maybe that's not a big surprise because we found out yesterday it's not too hard to get the vertex out of the equation once it's in this form. We like this form. So, investigation. Graph the following parabolas on the same grid. State the max min. What do you notice? Apparently I'm going to notice something. Yeah? Here's the steps to graphing again. Write down the vertex. This is grade 10 vital steps. Difficult? Geez, I hope not. I hope that this is going to be pretty straightforward. But vital. What is the vertex here? -5, -2. She is so fast at that. She's not confused by the h thing anymore. Like the h thing was confusing, I know. But she's just looking at it. I don't need the h, negative h, whatever, k. I just look and I go, the number in the brackets switches signs. The number outside the brackets doesn't. Vertex. Yes, absolutely. That's where we're trying to get to. What's the other thing we need if we're going to graph this? The step pattern. And the step pattern, after many starts and stops, we found out it's 1a, 3a, 5a. You don't need to write 1a, 3a, 5a when you do it necessarily. You might be so good at it, you're like, I know what to do here. I do. I'm the teacher. I got to write it down so that if anybody's not sure where it comes from, it's there. So it's just, you're multiplying everything by 2. So it's 2, 6, 10. And if you know what you're doing, once you have those two things, you're happy. If you don't know what you're doing, here, you can find out what you're doing. You graph the vertex, -5, -2. You put that on your graph. And then you use the step pattern to get other points. From the vertex, you go over 1, up 2. And then from that point, do the next step. See, they're steps. They're not the same size steps, but they're steps. Then from that point, go over 1, up 6. And then over 1, up 10. And that's not helpful because it goes off your page, but it is helpful to know, yeah, off the page.
Please come to the main office. Students to the main office, please.
It's loud. She's loud today. On this side too, over 1, up 2, then over 1, up 6, and then over 1, up 10. And friends, I didn't take marks off. I don't intend to take marks off, but your parabola really should go right to the edge of your page with arrows to say, and the parabola really goes forever. I'm only showing this much for you, but the parabola goes forever. Is it okay? Is it easy? Maybe, no, easy is not the word. Simple if you know the steps, like really straightforward. No jokes, I'm not making jokes. If you know the steps, the steps. No. All right. Let's not wait around until tonight. Question? Oh, she wants to answer. Okay. We won't do them independently. I switch colors for your benefit here. You got the vertex. Are you fast at it? 610. What are you thinking about when you get the vertex? Are you thinking the same thing that we were talking? Just switch the. It's going to be true for later transformations. Grade 11 preview. The ones in the brackets are always going to do the opposite of what we think they're going to do. It has to do with the location of the numbers and the x's and the y's. The numbers in the brackets are with the x. The numbers outside the brackets aren't with the y. So they're doing opposite things. Maybe that's the first time where you go, oh, I'm starting to see why these might be different. Step pattern. Okay, let me catch up here before you say it. Step pattern. Yeah?
-3, -9, -15.
Are you writing 1a, 3a, 5a anymore? She's over it. I'm over it too if you are on your test. Yes, if you just write down the step pattern, it's right, I'll take it. But this is like an insurance policy on tests and stuff and so on. When you write down extra stuff for me, some of you might have noticed that I know at least one person, they were so worried about one question in the test, like, oh, what are you going to do? And I ended up taking off like 1 mark. Because they showed me all the other stuff. I'm like, oh, you just made a silly little thing. I can keep it to 1 mark. If you don't write the extra stuff, then I'm stuck. But if you're sure about it, hey, you can write less. Yeah. Okay, so Vertex 610. Shh, you're distracting me. And then from that point, go down 3. 1, 2, 3. From that point, go down 9. That's the only thing that messes you up with the step pattern is you got to go from that point. So down 9 from there, I think it's at -2. And then the next one goes off the page. Did you see me pause there? Let me show you some advanced Jedi techniques just to make sure everything's going well. I wasn't sure I counted right in the board. When you're standing up here at the board, it's not easy to see the grids sometimes. So here's what I did. I went and said, is 8 2 right? So I went over here and I took 8 and I subbed it in. I went 8 minus 6 is 2. Squared is 4. Times -3, that's -12. Add 2, -2. You might not be as fast as me subbing those in, because I've been subbing them in for years and years and years. I was subbing before you even knew what Subway was, right? I was subbing. So, but if you're ever on a test, something like that, and you're stuck a little bit, I'm not sure this is right. You can just sub a number in to make sure it works. Yeah. And then on this side, -3, and then -9, and then off the page, and then friends, please start doing your parabolas. Don't call them parabolas. I'm taking a mark off. You call it a parabola. Parabolas, right to the edge of the page, with arrows saying, and they go on forever. What else? Did I forget anything? Anything you want to talk about? Okay, preview coming up. Notice these x-intercepts weren't whole numbers. Look at they're like decimals or something like that. How are we going to find those? We don't know. We don't know. We will know soon. Yes, we will figure this out. Ready? Are you done? We move on? I think this lesson goes pretty quick. Only 5 pages on my screen. How many pages is it for you? 3? Yeah, okay. Here's a review of what we just saw. Oh, state the max or min. Oh, I didn't do that. I didn't do the last part. Ooh, that's dangerous. I graphed, yes. Check-a-mondo. Right before you hand your test, you go back and check off all the things that you did to make sure you didn't do that, make a mistake of that. So, in green, double I, state the max or min value. Ooh, what's the max or min value? -2, yeah, but y equals -2. Yes? You want to state which one is the value, y equals -2. And when it occurs, y equals 2 is the minimum value. It occurs at x equals -5. I don't know why I put a bracket there. I know why. I was thinking about how to answer question 3. What do I notice? I don't know if I like questions like that. Sometimes in math, like, what do I notice? So much going on. What are you looking for here? Could I have answered that question before I graphed it? Yes. If you know what's going on, I don't need the graph. I'm not saying don't graph. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, once I had the vertex, I had the information right there. That information is in the vertex, making us even happier about vertex form. The vertex tells us when the max min occurs and what the value is. It's got them right there. So I will switch colors to do that again for the red graph. Double I, and I'll do the sentence again. Y equals 10 is the max value. It occurs at x equals 6. What do you notice? That info is in the vertex. Yes, we didn't need the graph. Again, I'm not suggesting we're not going to graph anymore. No, I'm just saying that info is all, the vertex, very important. It tells you everything you want to know. That info is in the vertex. You're happy? Are you happy? You're happy, yes? So now I can answer this. If A is positive, the parabola opens up. That means there is it a max or a min? Maybe you got to sit there at your desk when you answer that. Okay, open upwards. There is a minimum value. That minimum value occurs. Okay, where? Can you do it without the graph on this one? Okay, the minimum value occurs when x equals -5 and the minimum value is -2. That's what I said in the previous page, but I'm just trying to do it by just staring at the equation now. If A is negative, the parabola opens down. And if it opens down, there is a maximum value. And again, I can pick this stuff right out from the equation. The maximum value occurs when x equals 6. The maximum value is y equals 10. That's just reviewing what I already did on the previous page. You're bored now. Are you bored now? Yes? Maybe. I don't know. Do you need more time there? Who needs more time? Okay. Can we do A and B? Now we don't have the graph to look at anymore. Who wants a shot at A? The blank value of y is blank when x equals blank. 3 blanks there. Blankety blank blank. Use the word max or min and the data from the graph to answer the question. Is this thing going to have a maximum or a minimum? Minimum, how do you know? Right, for me, even if you're not going to draw a great graph, maybe a little graph or a mental graph to go, okay, what does this thing look like? So that thing has a minimum value of y is, okay, so what is that minimum value? $20. I can see it right there as the y value of the vertex. Now, if that's not clear, then that's when you go back to this example and go, wait. How's he getting that? I'm getting it right off the y value of the vertex. And it occurs when x equals 12, the positive 12. That'll catch you, right? Because you're so used to, you got to be used to switching that number that's in the brackets. Okay, you try B. Well, wait 1 minute. You try B and see if you can nail B. Oh, you can try C and D as well, but you try B. Let's double check to make sure you're okay on this. Try to wait long enough for you to take your shot at B and see where you're at. Then I'll take it up, and I won't even charge you. It'll be a freebie. It's a freebie. Freebie. No. Who's got this? The maximum value. And if you're not sure about this maximum, then just go like that. Okay, open this downwards, and then you can see it's a maximum. When y equals 17, when x equals -3. Yeah, off the equation, you got to be a little slow on the x value because it's opposite. Easier off the graph, right? See, we got the graph. Is it a max or a min? Maximum And the max y value is the maximum value of y is, scale's weird there, right? 3, and it happens when x equals -6. You don't change it here because it's showing you what the x value is. When you get it from the equation, you got to change it, but from the graph, you don't. Last one on this page, the minimum. I can see it's a minimum. I can look right at the graph. I like the graph. See, some of you don't like graphing. I'm not trying to convince you to like graphing, but the nice thing about graphing is you can see what's happening. You don't have to wonder or remember or anything like that. So what do you got here?
Minimum value of y is -4
When x equals 4. Yeah, good. It should be easier off the graph. You don't have to overthink it. You don't have to switch the signs, any of that stuff. Just bang, there it is. I can see it. Yeah. Questions? More time? Well, what's left? I feel like this lesson's over. Ooh, algebra. This is my favorite. Once it's to algebra, I'll be okay. Yes? It says determine the equation of each parabola in the form y equals ax minus h squared plus k. Do not let this intimidate you. You were great at y equals mx plus b. This is pretty much the same. Let me just write it down. We want this form of the equation. But if that's confusing, write it like this. This is powerhouse stuff. Where you go, no. Forget the a, h, and k. That's confusing me. I need a number there. I need a number there. I need a number there. What are the Hey, what happened? What's the number? Stomp, stomp. Oh, what's that from? Oh, that's Sesame Street. You know a song on Sesame Street? No. Answering? Isn't it? Okay, yeah. As the h, so it goes in here. Yes? So what's going to be in the brackets then? +2. Because it's -2. And maybe for the first time you go, oh, I understand why they put in h as negative. Because it's got to switch signs when it goes into the brackets. The k is supposed to be easy. 5. And the a is a mystery. I'm going to switch to capital A, okay? Many students in the past have complained about my a's. Say they look like little 9s. But you can write little a's. If you're so good at a's, then you can write little a's. I have no issue with that. Okay, well, I don't know the a. All I've got is a point. But I have this equation. Josh, you can take my moment? Yeah, steal my moment. Do it. Sub it in, sub it in. What's the sub of the day today? Does anybody know? Subway? Turkey today? Turkey's on Thursdays, he knows. You say you've never been to Subway?
I've never really been to Subway. I'm gonna give you out for free meal.
Do you see how it's the same as y equals mx plus b? Remember we had to know the b, and we're like, what are we going to do? Yeah? Sub in. 1, -4. And it looks bad. It looks bad. Looks like a big hairy mess. But it's not really. What's 1 plus 2? 3. That's not so bad. It's just a lot of steps. What's 3 squared? 9. Yeah, bring it over. -4 minus 5 equals 9a. Maybe you got different steps here. Maybe you like to bring the a's over to the left and the numbers to the right. Yeah, that's fine. You'll get the same as me. And then divide by the 9. A equals -1. Are we done? Ooh, new communication for next chapter. Many of you are doing this. Always end with a therefore statement. Now, if it's a word problem, like a real world problem, you should answer the question. You should be like, oh, Bob had $75 maximum. Like, you should answer like that. Many of you are. But if it's an algebraic question like this, you can answer with algebra. Negative x plus 2 squared plus 5. Now watch. Can anyone read my mind? Look at me. What did I just do there? Does anybody know what I did there as I was walking away? I subbed in x equals 1 in my head. And I went, let's just check this. 1 plus 2 is 3. Squared is 9. Negative 9 plus 5 is negative 4. Oh, yes, it works. Yes? You don't have to be as fast at subbing as me. No. No. But when you're about to hand your test and you're just double checking and so on, you can just sub into that final answer and go, let's make sure it works. Do you have questions? With one more to go. Look how fast these lessons are in this chapter. Time to do your homework in class. That way, if there's a homework check, you'd be ready. One more. Vertex negative 410 and a y-intercept of 22. Okay, let's rewind the clock. Back when I was teaching y equals mx plus b, I tried to encourage you, write down y equals mx plus b first before you even start. Then you can start thinking. I'm preparing you for physics, for chemistry, for later math courses. Just go, okay, well, what's the formula situation here? Let's not overthink this just yet. A x minus h squared plus k. And then just like physics class later, you go, well, okay, what do I know? Are there any of these things I know? There's lots of unknowns here. Can I pick some of them off or some of them given? And that's how I taught y equals mx plus b. I said, is anything given away? And I say, something's given away.
Sub in the negative 4 into h and it becomes positive 4, and
That's the h and the k. Yeah, so here, let me just put those in there. And I'll show this because that's what she said. But some of you might be at the point where you're like, that whole h thing confuses me. But I know this for sure. I know that if the vertex is x equals negative 4, then it's plus 4 in the brackets. But the y value stays as 10. But I don't know the a. So sub in, yes? Sub in. Uh-oh. They only gave me the y-intercept. What's the x value? 0. Oh, key curveball. Like right at the end there, a little curveball there at you. They didn't give you the point. They did give you the point. A y-intercept of 22 is the point 0, 22. So sub in 0, comma 22. 22 equals a 0 plus 4 squared plus 10. Looks bad. Looks bad. It looks bad. But it's not bad. Because what's 0 plus 4? 4. So it's 4 squared. So I get 22 equals 16a plus 10. Next. Next. Get the 10 over there, 22 minus 10. This is why we beat you up with linear equations for so long and made you solve and solve and solve and solve. So you're ready for this? And I get 12 equals 16a. Divide by 16? Oh, yeah. See, that's fine. 0.75 is fine if you want to work at like Samsung or something like that. You want to work at Apple. 3/4, baby, yeah. That's what we want, 3/4. Apple's not rounding anything off, baby. There's no decimal places. Exact. It's perfect. Am I done? What's left? Therefore, y equals 3/4. Look at me looking around. Where is it? Where's the rest of it? It's over there. X plus 4 squared plus 10. One more time on reading my mind. What did I do there? Before I ended my video, because I was so scared there'd be a mistake in the video. Does anybody know what I did? I took this 0 of x, and I subbed it in my head there, and I went 0 plus 4. You do it on your calculator. You can do it on your calculator. 0 plus 4 is 4. Squared is 16. Times 3/4 is 48 over 4, which is 12. You can use your calculator. But I've seen these fractions before. Plus 10 is 22. See how much time that saves? I don't have to go back and check number 7 on the test anymore. I subbed it in. Works. I put my own little check mark out. See, I saved you some work, Mr. Todd. You write down here. This one's right. I subbed it in. It's right. Yeah? You are happy? You're happy? Well, if you want to be extra happy, you should complete your homework. That's how we get happy. Yes? In your dress down outfits.